There's a bridge in my city that goes nowhere, and I don't mean that metaphorically. It literally just stops. On the other side, there's nothing there, just a dead end. I found it a few weeks ago on Google Maps, just scrolling around as you do at 11 o'clock at night when there's nothing else to do. A bridge that leads absolutely nowhere. I thought it was an error on Google Maps or someone just added it as a joke or something, but it's real. Apparently this bridge was supposed to connect to another road, but that never happened for one reason or another. So it just leads to nowhere. I don't know how long it's been like this or when it was built. It's been around long enough that no one seems to question it or care anymore. It's just part of the landscape now. I've been thinking a lot about the bridge lately. Because the strange thing is, it's not unfinished, it's completely done. Everything works. The concrete's there, the railing, the footpath. It does exactly what it was built to do. It just doesn't take you anywhere. After seeing the bridge, I started to notice other things. Like our bus stops. What is a bus stop, really? A bus stop is basically a promise. Someone decided that a person would stand in this exact spot and wait for something to arrive. Sometimes that promise gets kept. And sometimes the bus comes every 40 minutes. My city is full of things like this. Not specifically bridges, but plans or ideas. Things built for a version of the future that never really quite arrived. I noticed something else. The thing about cul-de-sacs is they're honest. They tell you right from the start that that's where the road ends. But bridges aren't supposed to do that. Bridges are supposed to lead somewhere and serve a purpose. Just like playgrounds. Someone built this because they imagined that children would be here. And maybe they are. But not right now. And in fact, I've never ever seen kids at this park. So right now it's just waiting for its purpose to be fulfilled. A lot of things in this city are just waiting for that. Every suburb has a place that was supposed to be the town centre. The place where people would gather and where the community would happen. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it's just a row of empty shops and the sound of the wind blowing. This phone box once had a purpose. Its future was laid out in front of it. But now, it's just abandoned. It doesn't really serve much of a purpose anymore. I started thinking about the bridge again. I think Canberra has more roundabouts per capita than almost anywhere else in Australia. A roundabout is interesting because it has no beginning and no end. You just keep going around until you decide to leave. But bridges aren't supposed to be like that. Bridges are supposed to have a destination. I moved to this city around 5 years ago. The idea was simple. Come here for work, save some money, and probably leave. It made perfect sense on paper. But 5 years later, I'm still here. I never made it to the other side of the bridge. Nothing really went wrong. The temporary thing slowly became permanent, much like the bridge. I think that's how most lives work. Not with huge turning points, just tiny decisions. That's probably how the bridge ended up the way it did as well. I came back to the bridge again. The funny thing is there's a fence that blocks cars, which makes sense. There's nowhere for them to go. But you can still walk across. And this is what's on the other side. Grass. No sign explaining what happened or what was supposed to be here. Just a perfectly good bridge leading to an empty field of grass. It looks completely normal from here, like it goes somewhere. Can't really tell it doesn't. I stood there for a while. When I was standing there, two guys walked past me and crossed to the other side of the bridge. They arrived at the end, looked around for a second, and just turned around and walked back. No trace of confusion on their faces. It was just like this is something that they did. Like arriving at nothing was a perfectly normal part of their afternoon. Maybe it was. I watched them walk back across, and I thought about whether they knew there was actually nothing on the other side. Or whether they walked across because they did know there was nothing on the other side. Or whether they just walked across because it was there. And then, when it turned out there was just grass there, they just accepted that and turned around. This bridge was built for something that never happened. And I think I know that feeling. The thing about walking on a bridge that goes to nowhere is that it still feels like you're going somewhere while you're on it.